Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by the shop. It's another Screwy Tuesday. I'm Chuck, and as you know, the channel's Outside Screwball. So this video is about the fix of a fix of a fix. Fixing my fix. It's going to be a short little video. I'm not doing an instruction on how to cut a gear, but there'll be a little bit of machining video there. And then I'd like to have a little discussion about what I learned from this job. So let's move on with the video portion, and then I'll drop back in and finish up with a little chat. I was at my dentist's office today, and sitting in the chair, and said, "Hey, what do you do if you have any broken tools?" He says, "We throw them away." And I says, "Well, heck, I'll take them." And they said, "Really? You can have them. They're all sterilized." And I don't know how well the camera's going to pick up some of this stuff, but some pretty cool tools. Some of them have broken tips, which is fine. I can grind on them and stuff. But some nice picks. Happy with that. A hook scalpel, which I think you might be able to see in the plastic there, and then some various hemostats, or they're not hemostats, but they're like that. But here's a little clamping mechanism that will come in handy on something at some point in time. So that was pretty cool. I hate going to the dentist, but today it paid off. So let's get on with the fix of a fix of a fix. So here's the gear, and I've welded it up again with silicon bronze. Let's click off of this picture, this video right for the moment, and show you a couple things, and then we'll come back. I'll have it set up in the mill, and we're going to have a little discussion on it. I just got done with a little die grinder, a little carbide wheel, and got it set up to get ready to weld. Well, it's a failure. My first cut went well. Everything looks perfect on it. And then my second cut was going well, and something moved. Still at the plate here. Rather than have a discussion at the mill, I thought we would go ahead and have the discussion right here. And I set something here. There it is. So I'm a lucky guy. I've got I can get a hold of Tom or Adam or Keith Rucker, all these guys, the YouTube creators, machinists, for advice and for questions. Well, beyond that, I'm really lucky. I got two resources so close to me. One, my good buddy Carl, who we just did a couple of videos, and of course my good friend Chewy. Chewy, of course, is a retired toolmaker, 40 years. So he called me the other day after watching the previous video, and said, let's discuss your setup and why you had a failure, what he saw in the video. And so one of the discussions he had was rigidity. He said, you really should have had a much thicker arbor piece back here, even where the gear could be up against that arbor piece, so that you had much more rigidity, and you take that out of the play. Your tailpiece extension is really too far. Again, you don't know if you're getting movement there. What's in the quill? How's it bouncing? And those gear cutters take a heck of a pounding to make a pass. So with all that said, which I thought was very good info, he said, he says, why don't you do this when you go back the second time? He says, why don't you take an end mill and clean out the majority of the material. That way the gear cutter's not working so hard. Says you can index your cutter. Go ahead and come over here, clean, 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 and then you can go back in through with the gear cutter and finish up the tooth on the gear. And I said, man, that's a great idea, instead of pounding away on that gear cutter. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I'll get it set up in the mill, and we'll go ahead and make a pass here. We'll probably go all the way down to the root of the gear, and then I may even come up top with another larger cutter and just clean out the bulk of it. So we'll see if we can fix this fix of a fix. Of a fix? I'm fixing to make a mess, I hope. We're not going to ask Screwy Ball anything. We're going to talk to it afterwards, that's for sure. Okay, running the end mill to get clearance all the way down. 30 thousandths depth of cut. Bring you back. Okay, first tooth is roughed out. Drop the mill table. Unlock the dividing head. Lock the dividing head, you dummy. And let's make another pass. Well, we'll bring you back. Well, the first tooth cut went fairly well. I think it's fine, and we're on the second tooth right now. Just starting it. Okay, making about a 20 thousandths pass here. We got the cool mist running on it. Still cutting that second tooth. Well, it's done. Just a little more cleanup with a file. I won't make Machinist Weekly, I don't think, but my fix of a fix of a fix came out successful. You can see where I got a little burn into that one tooth when I was welding. I'm not going to go attack that though. So, not bad for a schmo. I'm not super proud, but I'm happy I got it done. I think it'll work well. All this is a gear in a drill press table that manually lifts a drill press table. So, with that said, let's ask the Screwy Ball, did Chuck do a good job on this one? You may rely on it. There you go, Screwy Ball. I won't crush you this week. Ha! Okay, so I said I wanted to finish up with a little chat on this. So what did I learn? Well, I learned a lot on this small job. I never used my dividing head before, and and my and excuse me, and the comments from Chewy talking about the rigidity of my setup taught me a lot. And I have to mention, after Chewy talked to me about it, I remember a recent video that Keith Rucker did where he did a repair, and he built an arbor for it, and it really dawned on me. I was like, think about what Keith did there. I think it was a little bigger gear, but the same principles of having rigidity. So it was a fun repair, and I did get a phone call from my buddy, and it works perfect. It's off of a 20-inch Rockwell drill press. That gear is one of the two gears that raise and lower the actual drill press table. The machine itself is just, when we went and picked it up, I was green with envy, and I've got a hell of a 20-inch drill press. But I was just green with envy. What a beautiful machine. It's the table in it looks like the bottom of the bridge. It's just so heavy, so reinforced. It's probably a machine out of the 60s, and it's in super shape. So anyway, enough said about that. We'll move on to some other things that are going on in the shop. And again, thanks for everybody coming by, and I appreciate it. And I think you can see over my shoulder here, if you haven't made your reservation for the Bar Z Summer Bash coming up in June, you got to get down there. If you're anywhere close, even if you're far, there's a fella, what's his name? Bruce Williams is coming from Australia. We got Keith Fenner coming from the East Coast. We got Adam Booth from Florida. We got Keith Rucker from Georgia. Dale Derry from back in Georgia. I mean, we got guys traveling. These are creators. And I know we're going to have viewers traveling. We got Do Right. I can't think of your name. He's coming from Florida. We got guys traveling from the East Coast to come out because it is such a special event. So get your reservation in. Get a hold of Stan at Bar Z. His channel is Shadon HKW. I know you guys, if you watch my channel, you're watching him. I mean, you learn something from Stan. I'm just entertainment here, just a hack having fun. But anyway, I want to see you there at the Bar Z. All right, let's move on with the video. Here's another little repair that's going on in the shop. Started on it yesterday, Sunday. Today's Monday. Just finishing up. It's a small bar refrigerator that's outside, adjacent to my fireplace in the backyard. And it's been down for about a year, I would guess. And I had to pull the refrigerator out to fish some wires behind it to hook up a sound system out in the backyard. So I had it out. I said, well, time to see what's really wrong with it. And little diagnostics on it, and it turns out that the control is bad on it, the control assembly. So this little guy right here, which senses the temperature in the unit, right, and you turn the dial to make it warmer or colder, I guess. But that sits just behind this piece right here. So it fishes down and through and then comes on back in. So just fixing that, $50 part, and I'll have some cold beer back out by the swimming pool again. So another little repair that's going to turn out successful. This is the backside of my new surface grinder. This isn't a repair. It's a little modification and maintenance, I guess I would call it. So the yellow lines there drain the ways. The ways are lubricated via the hydraulics. And when I opened up the back of the machine, those tubes were going into a coffee can. So I'm going to actually build a catch can down in there and then put a bulkhead fitting and come through the side of the machine so that I can actually drain the oil. Or I'm going to put a manifold there with a catch can outside the machine. I haven't decided yet. One of the two. I think originally the oil may have returned back to the reservoir and somebody changed it, which is probably smart because it could end up getting contaminated. And I'm just going to continue with the fact that the oil won't recycle, it'll get used and wasted. So that's one issue that I'm working on. The second one I'm going to show you, and let me reposition the camera. So we're going to go handheld here. We're on the outside of the machine, and you can see there's grease fittings here. There's a mirror of that on the other side, and then there's a couple on top. One there and one there. And let's look back in the back of the machine here. See if I can do this. So there you can see old grease that needs to be cleaned and stop the head, to get the head much smoother. It's trying to push all that old grease out of the way. You can see it right there where it was as the head was coming down. So with that, I'm going to change the system over. And pardon my handheld here. And we got a light up there. And I think you can see the holes. There's one here and one here. That's typical where the grease was coming through instead. So you can see I still need to clean all this tarnish off. And what I'm doing is I'm changing the system over so that it'll get oil, whey lube, instead of grease. So I purchased a one-shot, brand new one-shot oiler, and I'll end up mounting that. And I actually had bought most of the parts the other day, or had them on the counter, and opted not to purchase since I don't want the same amount of oil going into the bottom as the top. I contacted a company in Fresno, Emmerich Machine, that sells the metering devices that you would use on a Bridgeport, and they're working on a design for me so that I can actually meter the oil, so I don't end up with just tons of oil going in on, if it's down low, if it's down here at this bottom one, it's just going to be going down to the bottom of the machine. So something I'm working on, and then I'll really start playing with this grinder. So I thought I'd show you as I was walking back into the house. This is the slot where the refrigerator goes, and then there's the music system that runs off the TV system up here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's up here. And going to put that all back together, and just really happy. It's a mess right now, everything's stacked out here, and it's such a beautiful day here in California. Hey Howard, Howie, where are you? Told Howie yesterday, hey, come here. It was a little bit warm for him yesterday, and I had a laugh. We took my grandson over to his baseball practice, and he ran around in the field, and he came back and he actually went swimming, and he is not a swimming dog. For a lab, he's not, it's not his biggest thing. Right, Howie? You can even see right now. It's hot and what? Oh, you gonna talk now? Hey, all right, say goodbye. Say goodbye. That's enough. All right, come here. I'll play. We gotta go play. That's what he's asking for. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by the channel.